Okay. Patrick, introduce yourself.
No, I gotta wait for that to actually go.
Oh, so where it says live.
Yeah, so now it says live. So
So it's
here we
live.
go. Here we
All
go.
right.
Our very first live episode, dude.
Okay.
So I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
This is Coffee Before Bed, the
Yes, it is.
podcast that's been running for 2 weeks now. Well, 25 years plus 2 weeks of actually recording it.
Right. 2 weeks of publicly acceptable content. Yes.
Publicly acceptable content where we don't dox ourselves.
That's right. Yes.
Although we did accuse each other of being racist again last week.
No, and we did dox ourselves a plenty on previous occasions, but that was all just practice, yes?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Unless you said you were going to upload it as bonus content someday, and then people know who we are.
That's really up to them. You know, their participation is
That's on them.
how far they choose to go with that is
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, actually, about this. It was very straightforward. It's like, this is the podcast that you're not allowed to tell too many of your friends about. So
That's right. You wanted to talk to me about that, right? It was,
well, you had a really good analogy behind it, too. You were talking about that restaurant that gets ruined.
Oh, right. The one that's your little secret place, right? As a matter of fact, I can tell you about that pizza place on the corner where
The new one that's starting up over there?
it's got some stupid weed name to it, so I don't know, but
420 pizza?
yeah. No, I'm talking about the last of the P38 was.
Oh, P38 pizza? Yeah.
If you don't tell enough people about it, nobody goes.
Right.
If you tell too many people about it, you gotta wait a long time for your pizza.
Yeah.
Or they just won't have a seat for you anymore.
Right. Well, and then you stop going. And then the next
correct.
thing you know, the place is just gonzo.
Right, and that's when you're saying, like, this was a cool place until all these townies fucked it up.
Right. Well, that one was true, too, man, because they actually did have pretty tits pizza. The only problem with it after a while was that you weren't sure if you went there for, like, pizza or ice cream. So,
There was that, and they made the crucial mistake of having weird hours.
oh, yeah, they were closed on rando days.
Random days, random times.
Yeah, so we're going to podcast on rando days at rando times?
I think you and I have a fairly set schedule at this one. I think
I think so.
the more random elements will be how many of our lurking companions manage to find their way to this microphone whenever that's possible. Keep in mind that somebody is starting a new schedule recently, although he was told that he's welcome to start at his own discretion as soon as his illness.
Oh, weekend will.
passes.
Yeah, as soon as he's done with the COVID, the CCP
Well, the COVID's done with
virus.
him.
Yeah,
Yes,
the COVID's
that's
done
correct.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that'll be on the bonus episode that we recorded last week.
I expect
So
him,
we'll upload someday.
right. I expect him to give a fuller detail about the COVID experience
Right.
once he arrives.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to have a first-hand experience. Like I said, the only other person that I know that's going through it right now is one of my cousins, and he actually did get out of the hospital today.
How's he doing?
Minus a lung, but
How's the other one?
but
How's the other one? How's the remaining one?
well, actually, I think they put it back, but it's like never going to be the same again, you know. So they had to take it out and scrub it down and stuff. I didn't even know you could do that. So I thought that was like, you know, once it comes out, okay, you're like the Pope. You have half a lung from now on.
Right, exactly. It's once it comes out, it's either for somebody else.
Right.
But rarely have I heard about people taking it out, polishing it, and putting it back in.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that. Yeah, I'd never heard of that. So, but apparently he's on the mend a little bit too, but he's going to have a much longer recovery kind of thing. He's still got tubes in him, man. So,
Great.
yeah, no, those are awesome. Yeah.
Wait, how did you hear the story? I thought.
My mom called me today and told me.
Well, how is she privy to this? I wasn't aware that your family actually.
Oh, no, she's pretty good at keeping in touch. So, yeah.
Did she give you the update on those mystery members of your family we were discussing about where they are, since it's been so long since you've talked to them? Or did
No,
you even
no,
ask?
that's my dad's side of the family. They just they went completely AWOL, so we have no idea. Theoretically, they're closer than we are, so I mean, they could still be here in Colorado. So
But there's no evidence.
I don't know. Yeah,
So,
they could
yeah.
be in Guam for all I know. I have no
Right.
idea.
Right.
So, but no, she does a pretty good job of actually keeping tabs on her family. So, you know, it's not as local as like your brother. Well, I guess my brother's closer than yours.
Yes, but
Yeah.
okay, yeah, but the issue is we solve that problem by keeping our circles so ridiculously small that they're easy to track.
They are easy to track. That's part of the purpose of having a podcast, so they can find us. So
that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Because it's been a while. Like we had a sometimes Ryan sighting the other day.
That's what you said.
We'll see if he actually pops around sometime. But that's okay. I mean, some of that's due to COVID too. I mean, so it did kind of scatter a lot of people to the wind. So and clamped down a lot of activities. Well, I guess like you just got used to not doing them last summer, so you didn't pick them back up this summer. You know. So, because I only went fishing like twice this summer, and I mean that used to be a several time a thing kind of thing.
Yeah, but there were also plenty of non-COVID years where you just didn't go at all.
Well, no, I was usually working, so.
Well, yeah, I understand. I'm not. You're thinking I'm coming down on you. And that's just not true.
I kind of come down on myself on that one because I pay $250 a year to belong to a fishing club that I visit maybe 3 times a year and keep no fish and rarely catch any anymore because I suck at it now. So I used to be good at it.
Okay, so here's the problem: is when jerk-offs like you and I go up there and just throw the thing in the water for a while, and we're totally satisfied with the nothing that happens.
Right.
The drawback is when you go with somebody that actually knows a fucking thing about fishing.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes Ryan, he's a slayer.
That's correct.
So, yeah, he's an absolute slayer.
Of course, he's like that fucking buzzard from Looney Tunes. No, there goes way.
Oh, no, he's not too modest about it anymore, man. So, I'll push back on that one a little bit because he went up a couple weeks ago with 2 of the guys from the bar who think they're pretty good. And they are, to tell you the truth, fairly good. One of them is particularly good, and he got slain. So, he would like cast and do a couple spinner runs and then move, and then sometimes Ryan would pop in there and bang, just hit
the same spot,
just hit the exact same spot, and say, "Oh, you missed this one." So yeah, but no, man, I don't know. When I took my daughter up fishing 2 weeks ago, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So we'll probably do it a little bit more.
That's a fantastic daddy-daughter experience.
It was, yeah. So, and she's not into anything that I want to do anymore at all, except for like that. So, well, that and drawing and stuff. But like even like, so there's Minecraft channels that I watch, and then she has hers. So they don't even cross over, and so it's completely different. And like even today, she came downstairs and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm playing a game." She said, "What is it?" Well, it's kind of like Minecraft. It's called Valheim.
You got back into it?
I got back into it, man. So yeah, I totally went and did the update, and I had to uninstall it and reinstall it.
Oh,
I think that was because my Steam account was jacked up. I don't think it was actually anything on their end. But my Steam account was a little bit jacked up from one of the updates they did recently. And I had taken Valheim off of there. And so...
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, it was just kind of fun to dink around for like 5 minutes. I don't know what's different yet, so I have no idea.
What does it matter? I mean, you just reacquainted yourself with that universe and
Yeah.
You
it's gorgeous.
Screwed around for a little while, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, we used to have... We got together, a couple times to do that?
We did.
Yeah. You were way further ahead than I was, though. So, if I recall.
Sort of. I mean, you had me on hours, but that's because you had to start over a couple of times.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did have to start over because I changed computers.
You changed computers, and if I seem to recall, like, didn't something happen to one of your characters or something weird?
Oh, I got so totally trapped in one area that there was no freaking... There wasn't a prayer that I was ever going to get my shit back.
Okay, got it.
And so it was one of those moments where, thankfully it wasn't my laptop that had on. Otherwise, it would have gotten completely flipped over with the desk. So, because I was so far from home. It's one of those things where you get in the boat and you just roll.
Oh,
and next thing you know, you're like so far from home, and then you get out of the boat and you get dead, and then you realize, oh well, my body's up there and it's got all my good shit. Well, my boat's up there. It's like, well,
so you wrote that one off, and
I'm gonna go play GTA online.
Yeah, I guess that's the question. I mean, like, did you immediately go back in and start a new character, or did you?
No, I was mad. I was mad, but I did not have enough of the game. but it took a week, and I think literally that's when I went back to either playing Skylines. Yeah, I think it was. So I was like, I need something that's a little bit more relaxing and allows me to save my game. I was like, let me go fix traffic for a while.
Well, speaking of, well, actually, this is kind of divergent from this, but this is something that we didn't actually cover. What are you drinking there, buddy?
Oh, coffee. Well, yeah, we always do that.
Of course, they don't know this. We haven't.
Yeah, okay.
We actually haven't discussed
right.
coffee once.
Yeah,
as far as this happened. So tell me what you're drinking there, Patrick.
This is Dutch Brothers. So when did we switch to Dutch Brothers? It's probably been about a year or two.
So we switched to Dutch Brothers when this had to do with the reduced hours that Starbucks over there started having due to COVID, because they would start closing at like 4.
Right. Yeah. So and coffee before like 8 p.m. is a sin. As far as I'm concerned.
It just was not attainable to our schedule, right? So there's a lot of I don't know, bougie people in your Starbucks, around noon that are trying to kill some time in the day, have their laptop open.
Bougie, is that still a word? People still use that?
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially when they're bougie. So like you got a lot of people sitting in there with their laptops open, hoping that you'll come by and say, "Oh, what's your writing there?" Right.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah. Oh, my novel.
Yeah. So you got those people in there, and that's what the before 4 crowd is, right?
Yeah, but the after 4 crowd was always just people doing homework.
Yes.
So yeah, when you and I used to go over there at like 9 o'clock at night, it was just dudes doing homework, or the couple people who were just cleaning up.
Just cleaning up.
Or that one guy who was always like trolling to kind of see, like, oh, are there any single women in the Starbucks at 9 p.m.?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about a specific guy, but that he'd have his pants that were a little bit higher than they needed to be.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about an archetype. It wasn't like, oh, there goes Jared.
Well,
right?
No, it's kind of like the hipster that doesn't wear socks kind of guy. Yeah.
I don't have socks.
You're not a hipster. You don't have near enough facial hair to pull that off.
I have so little that I shave the whole head.
Right, yeah, might as well.
Yeah, and then we were very forlorn because there was no place to get coffee. Mm-hmm. So the difference was because I was still going to like the gym at like 2 a.m.
Right.
And I'd drive by there and I'd see the Dutch Brother was open.
Yeah.
I was like, those guys are open all night.
No, Dutch Brothers are pretty good.
Yeah.
Coffee's good.
Yeah, so great. Nice people.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go back to Starbucks. So, and there's a couple other places in town that we used to go to as well, but it was almost always Starbucks. Because we had like 3 of them we used to go to, depending on what time of day it was.
We did. But once we decided that we... what's that term they use now? Once we decided that we agreed on like a neurodivergent time schedule.
Well, it was kind of foisted upon us by Night Shift, but
yes, but the thing is, when it comes to Night Shift and Swing Shift and all those other things, right? There's a piece of you that knows that like you're fighting it or you accept it,
right?
Yeah. And there have been times in my life when I fought Night Shift, when I fought that schedule. I'm like, no. My real nature is to get up at 6 and to go to bed at 10. And that's how this is going to be, right?
Yeah.
This night shift thing is just something I got to put up with for a while until I get back on my regular schedule. Eventually, when I learned that my brain and my body had rejected banker's hours, right?
I don't know, man. I completely got flipped over. Well, I guess we should give some history here. So, how long have we been doing coffee? I'm gonna call it at like 1998 or 1999.
I would presume. Okay, so here's the thing: is what iteration does this take? So I'm going to presume that you're taking this back to like the Perkins or Village Inn days.
Sure. Yeah. So that would definitely qualify.
Yeah. So those were definitely airport days.
Those are definitely airport days.
Now, Patrick, why don't we call those airport days?
Because we worked at the fucking airport. Way too much. So, yeah. But yeah, no, even after airport days.
Now, were we day shift or night shift at the airport?
We were decidedly night shift. Yeah, decidedly night shift.
What title did both of us wear at different times?
Skycap.
Well, Skycap, yes, but what did it say underneath Skycap?
Supervisor.
Not just supervisor.
Oh, you're right. Night supervisor. That's right.
Not just night supervisor.
Night weekend supervisor.
Yes, correct. Yes, that's right. You wore that title. I wore that
title. I don't think my badge ever said that. So
I think it just said supervisor.
I think mine just said supervisor. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was just when the people who were actually using that as a job rather than a means to pay for college.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, there was a year there I made more money than my dad did.
Okay, so explain
he
why
was in his 50s.
Explain why that's an accomplishment. Okay, because right now people might be thinking like, yes, but your dad was working part-time.
No. He's a full-time union guy who was doing the Air Force on the weekends, and I still beat him. He was so mad he made me buy him a furnace that year.
I thought you volunteered.
Well, he kind of painted me in a corner. He says so the furnace is about to go out, boy. And it's like, yes, sir. Is that my problem? He's like, well, not if you pay rent. So he basically gave me a choice at that point in time. I got him a furnace.
Okay. See, younger Patrick told that story with a little bit more like volunteering his cash.
No, older Patrick is a little bit greedier. Yeah. So
it was more like, I saw that my folks were struggling.
Yeah. No. Yeah, younger Pat would have definitely said that, but older Pat is like, no, I actually made a lot of money and I was freeloading off my parents, and so.
Okay, so all right, now let me come back to that for a second, then, all right? Because now that you are in that fatherhood mode, right? Mm-hmm. Would you care even a little bit if your daughter wanted to live with you through 19 or 20?
Oh God, no.
That wouldn't bother you.
Unless I wanted to move. Right? So if I wanted to move, then yeah, I'd be like, well, I'm selling the house, so if you can buy it, it's all yours.
Right.
So, but I don't think that would actually be a problem. No, I wouldn't really have a problem with it. Now, if my wife would have a problem, well, actually, she'd probably have a less problem with it than I would.
She'll probably think it's cool.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see how the teenage years go. So we just started those this year, so technically.
I guess, but your daughter's been nothing but a peach, from what I've seen her. Like
we'll see, man. So
I get it, but like
keeping an open mind here. So.
Right. No, obviously, things can change from day to day. All she has to do is meet a couple of bad friends or get wrapped up with some boy or something like that, and suddenly her attitude turns, sour. But, it's not like she'll turn so sour like she was, buried in the pet cemetery and came back. Right. There's still going to be a good person
in there. Wrong with the boy.
Yeah. There's still going to be a very good person in there. And she's, cute as a button and as nice as they get. And like every time I go over there, it's like, you want to see what the cats can do?
Well, yeah, but that's changed. One of them cannot do much anymore. So... Dude, I told you last couple weeks ago, Garfieldus felinus. Fat. Yes, she is fat and cute
and just will not
useless.
Stop being fat.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not going to lay off the fatness.
Not going to lay off the fatness. All the other cats gotten really good about sticking her face in the food bowl and not letting that big one push her out of the way. So, so now that one's actually rounding out a little bit, but the other one's not getting any skinnier, so it's not like a zero-sum food game. I have no idea. So either they figured out how to open the feeder and, are just chowing down on it on their own time. Or they're eating I don't know, the pretzel sticks in my in my cabinet that they can reach and occasionally get into. So I have no idea.
Well, there's always the, possibility that people that like to give treats to cats aren't telling you the whole truth.
Right. That's a distinct possibility, come to think of it. But I don't know. My daughter doesn't really like the fat kitty. So they don't really like each other. So they kind of tolerate each other. But she hates to be picked up by my daughter. But when I pick her up, she's fine. So kind of thing.
Well, has either one of them really identified themselves as your cat?
Yeah, the stripy one, the not fat one. Okay. So I got two of them. I got Tubbs and Stripes. That's what I call them.
Okay. Has Tubbs claimed ownership of your wife?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And the middle of the bed every night. So, yeah, I know. You got a dog that does the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we've come to sort of an agreement after fighting over the bed so many times. Because yes, it is in my nature to move her because of everything I've read that says do not let the dog conquer your spot or it will ruin your shit for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
As soon as she decides, like, oh, this guy's a puss, right? then it's
totally take this.
Yeah, then it's like you don't understand what kind of demands that the dog will make of you. It's like fucking, it's 9 o'clock, you're ready to go to bed, and she's like, Jeff, I broke my earbuds. Can you run out and get me some? It's like, Jeff,
I got to be up early tomorrow. Can you make me a lunch?
Yeah, why don't you make the lunches tonight? I'm so tired. It's like,
I got one last load of laundry in the dryer. Can you fold that for me?
I don't like the regular stuff. Just can you get me? I really like tarantula eggs, and why don't you get me those? And make sure there's the low carb ones, right? So what we've agreed upon is whoever gets to the bed first gets to pick the side that they're on. Okay? However...
That's interesting.
Yes. But what that means is if you are there first, then any part of you can be used as a pillow. So if I get there first...
So you got to starfish out, man. So, yeah.
Well, okay. So this is where we've come to an agreement. This is where she's decided to take the upper left quadrant. Right?
So is there a good part of the bed and a bad part of the bed, and it's just a matter of who gets there first?
No. The problem is the good part of the bed rotates depending on which one I take for a significant period of time.
Oh, okay.
Once she's...
Because it's warmer.
No, because it's mine.
Oh, got it. Okay,
right?
So she just wants what's yours.
Right. So if, say for example, I was the one eating the dog food, right? And I was giving her steak every night. Mm-hmm. She'd want the dog food because I'm eating.
Because you're eating it.
Right.
And well, the steak sucks. I'd rather have what you're eating because, you're alpha in the house too, man.
Correct.
Yeah. So
this is where we've come to kind of an agreement where she's decided on the upper left-hand quadrant for the most part, right? But what she'll do is she will put about 25% of her butt, okay, towards the top because she knows that is going to be pillow.
Okay.
Right? Or if I get there first, right, then it is up for her to determine which part of my body she is going to sleep on.
Okay. Is this something that, you think a lot of other dog owners would identify with?
Well, all right.
Because, with cats, it's a little bit different. You just give them a good swift kick and they're off the bed.
Well, and see, that was my brother's solution as well.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, when she would, visit, Will's bed, he'd be like, get off. Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, the cat's the same way. Otherwise, you just pick up the covers underneath them and just roll them off. Yeah.
Flip it.
Well, he might hiss at you a little bit or something. So, I don't think I've ever had one do that to me, come to think of it. So,
well, I don't know. It pains me to throw an animal off the bed.
Oh, right? Not me. No. If you're in my spot, it's like off you go. So. It's okay, you're a cat. You can find a million other places in the house to sleep.
I understand. Yes, I get it.
Many of which I cannot sleep in. Okay?
So, yeah, because they're way up
right, they're way up in my curtain rods or behind the couch or, in my cabinets. So, in the bottom of my closet, on top of all my shoes, right? More specifically, my wife's shoes. So.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, look at her right now, okay? Mm-hmm. I would sit on this, but God knows I wouldn't lay on it sideways and try to take a nap. But she's crashed out.
Oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
So you even got the twitching going on.
Exactly. Yeah, she can sleep anywhere. Yeah. But the other thing is that this dog is a snuggler.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? I've come to accept that. This is how she tries to affect healing, in whatever party that she's a piece of. That's why she tried to snuggle with my brother when he was feeling sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you told me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why she would snuggle with my niece when she was feeling distressed about my brother's sickness. So that's just what she does.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Well, hey, that was pretty good walking around with a little mini bio there just based upon that.
So, yeah, this is it's episode 2, but it's kind of episode 0. Yeah.
Episode 0.
That's a prerequisite, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to let more biographical information leak out in the future.
Right.
So slowly. Not intentionally, too.
This is intro to Pat and Jeff for non-majors.
So what else did Pat and Jeff talk about? So
in 1999?
No, well, I guess now. In 1999, so I can think of a topic. So, but nowadays, it seems like we settle on maybe 4 or 5 things. lately. So like anything movie related, even though I don't watch them, but I like listening to you talk about them. So
But you do occasionally watch other things.
I do. Yeah. YouTube. We talk about YouTube a lot.
We do.
YouTube's taken over a lot of my entertainment pie chart.
Well, and that's sort of a dovetailed topic right there. It's not just YouTube; it's the effect of YouTube. It's the effect of the entertainment industry as a whole. There's also broad issues, I would say.
Yeah, like we have talked about COVID quite a bit.
We've talked about China, usually in
China,
especially lately in semi-mocking terms.
I don't even know if it's mocking terms anymore, man. Yeah, so the more I learn about that, the more it kind of, I'm not going to say it freaks me out, but I'm definitely wise to what's going on, with some of the things there that I was very benign about last year. So it was just like, oh, right. No, it's not how it's China. Well, actually, yeah, it is. Right. And YouTube is the one that, well, you got me hooked on a couple of those channels there. But now, like, this is a huge rabbit hole that I've been going down that's just like different podcasts. And the cool thing about it is I'm starting to see like Venn diagram overlaps, all right, between people who actually do know what they're talking about. They're kind of talking the same language. And so that's kind of freaky when you see that. Yeah. So, yeah, no, we've talked about that quite a bit.
Well, and what it did was, and I hate to interrupt, but what it also exposed was a lack of perspective when it comes to getting our information from people that have actually experienced the situations and then looked at them in depth versus a purely satellite outsider view academically of people assessing the situation without any sense of what the actual reality is.
Yeah. They speak before they listen. So there's a lot of that going on out there. And has been for a while. But yeah, the China one was the one that kind of opened my eyes to it. It was like, oh, wait, oh, shit, there's people out there actually really serious about this and been kind of like sounding this alarm for a couple of years now, in those guys' case in particular. And now I'm starting to see some like larger and some of the more like policy focused podcasts that I listen to actually touch on that a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, especially with this thing with Evergrande last the couple days.
Boy, this is a train wreck, isn't it?
I guess. I don't know. I heard they're going to bail them out. So that was as of today, but we'll see how that works. But
the problem is, what does a bailout mean in a socialist?
Yeah.
Air quotes are up. Communist country, socialist communist country. Right. What exactly does a bailout mean?
Well, and I think we got to be careful about actually calling it a socialist country. So that's the one thing that kind of got me spun off there, was realizing that it's a socialist country that doesn't provide any services. Blew my mind. So absolutely blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, not everybody in China's got a job guarantee and a healthcare plan and a free education? No.
So, all right. So I guess this was the perspective that made it make sense to me, especially because like Twitter assholes will sit there and say like, oh, I got socialized medicine, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, but think about it this way. If your socialized healthcare plan still cost you half of your year's salary per visit, would you call that socialized medicine?
And could you, and if you lived in Denver, okay, but you were registered to live in Omaha, and you could only go to a doctor in Omaha, but you lived in Denver, that's just mind-blowing how that system actually works.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you call this? Would you call this?
No wonder everybody's doing herbal tea and shit. Yeah. No, just kind of blew my mind. And so, like, I did hear a guy the other day actually talking about separating the CCP from the Chinese people, and how a lot of people still aren't doing that, and that's really what you need to kind of get out there as a message. And it was really cool to hear that, because it's exactly what those ADV guys say.
There is that. There's a... Okay, but the problem there is one particular issue I have with this, is whether or not the actual people there are in favor of the divorce, right?
I don't think they are.
That's part of the issue is, why would I try to Now, obviously, I don't want to hold the mistakes of the party against the people, but if the people don't want to distance themselves from that party, right? Now, I understand if...
I mean, what are you going to do in a society where you don't have a Second Amendment? Any protest is going to be met with water cannons or worse. So as
has been met with worse many times.
Yeah. As aptly, much, much worse in the case of the Uyghurs. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I still have quite a bit of empathy, in a situation like that.
Of course.
And so, I do understand that there are a lot of people who use, like, anything that you say bad about China, is instantaneously taken as some kind of racist diatribe against, people of Asian descent.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's not... that completely obfuscates what's going on. So, and why maybe possibly your grandmother is dead because of of the Wu flu.
Bro, okay, so
which is completely the CCP's fault, man.
100%. Yeah. In fact, there's new evidence that I read today about they were going to intentionally introduce this to bats.
The intentional piece, that's an extraordinary claim that requires extraordinary evidence.
I have to wait for this to actually come out in the wash because there's new information. I need to see more sources report this. But what that means here is, okay, so I can still barely smell 5% of shit.
Right.
Okay. I can't taste a thing.
Oh, man, that's got to be rough for a foodie.
Well, given that of the 5 pleasures that I enjoy in life is the smell and taste of coffee. There's 2.
Yeah, there's 2. Yeah.
The smell and taste of food is 3 and 4, and number 5 really isn't your business. But it's but the bottom line here is I can't do that because some fucking assholes, that think that the way to actually impact change on a global stage, right?
Just to rap about it.
Well, yes, you have this, wonderful cartel government going on over there, and these are the solutions they came up with, right? And now my taste is fucked up, right? Because of this, and has been missing for like 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping that'll come back, and that I still, eventually can talk without having this like snot-nosed voice. Because God knows I love doing that.
Yeah,
God knows.
Fine, dude.
Oh, no. But I love blowing my nose in front of my students. I love, constantly giving my kids the old... How did that spike? Did that look good?
That's pretty good, yeah.
I love having to give one of those, right? Constantly clearing my throat.
Yeah.
Now, that's pretty penny ante shit for people that are, like, dead.
Right, yeah.
Or people that have, their lungs... Brillo padded out,
yeah. So what do they call it? It's glazified, where there's literally nodules in the end of your. It's like glass lung or something is what they're calling it now. Yeah,
right.
Where basically those nodules are shattered.
Right.
So
yeah, and all that had to happen is fuckwits halfway across the globe didn't have to do this.
Well, yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how that actually ties back out to NIH and CDC and stuff someday. There's going to be mountains of books written on this down the road. So you're going to have probably going to have some pretty decent analyses of it come out in the next year or two. I don't know, man. I mean, I think a combination of that and the Evergrande thing, we'll have to see how that pans out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you what it did to my cryptocurrencies.
Oh, they're back. They're fine today.
Yeah, they're fine today.
Yeah.
Past couple of days were...
It was a little scary there.
I didn't like it, Pat.
What do you think about bailing?
A lot of my net worth just kind of disappeared.
Oh, no. It's on paper, man. It ain't net worth yet.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not. You don't book any profits until you actually cash out. So.
No, that's correct. Yes. Yeah. So it's
that. Yeah, we do talk about investment advice from time to time.
It doesn't matter.
We're not financial advisors.
But yes, you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter if the Patriots are down by 35 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
The result doesn't matter until that final whistle.
Right. Ain't over till it's over.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I tried to be eloquent about it, but, and always shoehorn the Patriots in wherever it doesn't fit.
No, I just shoehorned in the Yankees, so we're good.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk about baseball, but...
So we got one more week after this week, right?
Believe so.
So you and I have to fight next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Believe so, but the
Yankees are down now, man.
Yes, the Sox are up 2 games now.
Well, I think Toronto's between us too, man. I think we're. Oh no, they're not. Oh, okay.
I just checked that today.
All right,
So,
I didn't check in a couple days.
So it's still 2-3. Although Toronto is like right there, if I recall.
Oh yeah, they were right on our ass. So,
but the head-to-head games kind of matter.
Oh, are we gonna have a head-to-head game in the AL East?
I thought that was happening next week.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, because we got both Toronto and you guys, and then I think you guys got us and Baltimore, which is not fair.
I guarantee you, we all played Baltimore the same number of times.
I know, but you get them last.
I know. So, well, at least it's not some interleague bullshit. At least,
Yeah, that's true.
At least,
it's not making up rain days and stuff like that.
Right, and New York's not just cleaning up on our Colorado Rockies for the last 4 games of the season.
Yeah, so we just stumbled into like a 5th topic that we usually hit there, baseball and sports in general. Although football season's kind of in swing now, so probably start talking about that a little bit more. I actually did have my students make my picks for me today.
Yeah, and what did they decide on? What were some surprises?
I can't remember. I'm not too into the season yet to know which one are my sleeper picks and which ones are just my coin tosses. So I was telling my brother the other day, I was like, I have no freaking clue who's good this year. So everybody keeps saying, "Oh, the Broncos look great," and I approach that with guarded optimism. So
as you should.
Yeah. So and that comes from many years of experience now. Everybody's like, "Oh, Peyton Manning," and I was like,
sure.
He's a one-off, man. He's the Empire Strikes Back.
I don't know if that qualifies as a topic in and of itself, but
Star Wars, yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just a perennial joking point or a subtopic of entertainment and leisure.
It's a good way to illustrate other things that we're upset about. Yeah,
right. And Star Wars, I suppose, has also been a rife source of metaphors over the years, so that's why it's
no, that's true.
But yes, the Broncos situation. My understanding, yes, they do look good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's my question.
I didn't watch them on Sunday, so
William did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And through fevered dreams and hallucinations, he watched them. And I guess there's that question of all right. So when has Teddy Bridgewater been the solution in other?
Well, where did he come from? He came from Minnesota, right?
I don't know if he did any time anywhere else, but Minnesota's the place.
Yeah, because I remember he got drafted into Minnesota, didn't he?
Right.
So yeah, and
he looked good.
I've never really watched Minnesota that closely. So my Vikings.
So how episode 0 do we have to go when it comes to
we don't need to talk about we don't need to talk about that. My Vikings.
Perhaps someday. Yeah.
Perhaps someday.
Perhaps we'll talk about Ron and his butt.
Yeah. So, but I think everybody knows a Vikings fan like that. So
that's true.
Whenever they come up, I just don't really watch them that much. I know quite a few guys who are Green Bay fans, and so that's always a big deal when they fight.
Yeah, you were really giving Green Bay fans a hard time.
I am not happy with Green Bay fans at the moment, and it's not because the ones that I know are particularly bad people. It's just there's a map out there that if you draw, if you color in each state where you actually do the poll and say who's the greatest quarterback in the entire history of the GOAT. All right, every state except for one says Tom Brady. Even Colorado flipped over.
Okay. Now, all right, I will say that.
And that state's not Minnesota.
It is not. It is not. However, there is still there is also still a pocket of Joe Montana.
Come on. They got to be dead by now, or at least close to. So my dad was a Joe Montana fan. So
I understand.
Yeah.
Yes. But the problem here is that there are still some sports reporters, right?
Okay.
That are still ringing the bell of days gone by.
Joe Montana and John Elway and yeah, I mean, I guess you could find some other guys from back there. So Jim Kelly days.
Oh yeah, you'll find guys.
Dan Marino. You'll always find people who
United. They'll go back to even further.
Yeah, you could sit and watch that haircut.
Brent Tarkenton. Yeah, there's still a contingent of sports anchor wankers that love to throw that around.
Yeah, I guess I just don't pay that much attention to sports writing anymore.
Why would you?
Yeah, I know. Well, the only one that I was reading for years was Your Team Sucks by Drew McGarry, who would do like the all 32 every summer. Mm-hmm. And he was just a funny guy, more so. I mean, he made good points.
Sure.
So, but the funniest part of that was actually reading the fan comments on it, because these are just like the Catholic penitentes who are just like smacking themselves with the nightcat of nine tails. Right. Yeah. Right. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still a Bears fan.
There is that. Yep. So, there is that.
Yeah, but there's another piece of it that's like, I don't know. It's just you got to kind of call it the way that you see it, and like everybody, at least the Packers guys that I know, I don't know anyone who are calling it the way that they actually see it. Okay, they're just doing it in a manner because I'm going to sit here and I'm going to boost my team. More so than anything else. I mean, you can't look back on Rodgers the last couple of years and say that he's better. You can't do it.
I can say he's incredibly talented.
I can say he's good. Yeah.
I can say he's good.
I can say he's one of the best ones in the league right now. Okay? So, is he the best one that I've seen over the last 20 years? I'm no Patriots fan. You know that.
Yes, but you are a statistics teacher.
That's true. Yeah.
So, when I ask you to break down the numbers that matter...
Right, yeah. I don't even have to count. I mean, he can just flash them to you. It's fine. So... And
and
then he broke away from the franchise and then went and got another one, kind of showing that, okay, so this wasn't this, like, freaking Palpatine and Darth Vader kind of combination. Both of them can do just fine on their own, thank you. Yeah.
That's correct. And on top of that, it is not as though he spent 3 seasons getting used to their offense.
Oh, right, yeah. It was a season.
It was that year.
Yeah, it was a season. All he needed was one guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you whether it's, the fact that he doesn't eat nightshade or the fact that he has that special, like, water with lemon and lemon seeds in it. Gross. Or that he's so focused on being pliable instead of strong. I don't know. But the bottom line is he's got a lot of fancy hardware on his fingers.
Yeah.
So much to the point where even if you are an Aaron Rodgers, total blood-sucking
complete
hawk,
stand,
right?
Yeah.
You have to at least compare some numbers and say championships to championships.
Well, and so I know a couple Green Bay fans who just will not do that. So like, I'm never going to hold the fate of the entire fandom against the few of them that I know. That'd be extremely unfair to every Eagles fan out there.
Yes.
Okay. Or Jets fans. So or Jets fans.
No. Hold on. But so, being a Jets fan is like having a faith in a very unsuccessful religion.
Yeah. Like Yahweh actually destroyed your God.
Right. So there's still...
It's just like, hey, how's Marduk working out for you?
Right, that's it. See, that's the thing, is there are still, like, Zoroastrians out there, and God bless them. But, that's the thing.
I'm sure you can find some people who believe in the Greek pantheon.
That's kind of it. Yeah, there's so small a group that whatever beatings they've taken, you have to at least look and say, like, all right, cool. You still have kept the faith, even though your religion, worships a pumpkin, and it's kind of like, all right. So when asshole Conan is like saying like Crom laughs at your 4 wins, right? This is sort of I'm not rooting for Crom in that case. I'm actually rooting for the other guy. Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for the other guy. I'm like, well, because what's he going to say? What's he going to do? He's going to be like, fuck you, Conan.
Yeah,
and then he's going to get dunked on, right?
Right. Yeah. Or like Thor lightning or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about the man that's sitting in front.
Sure. Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah. There's very much of like, what'd you say, bitch? Right. And so like, what are you going to say to Conan? What are you going to say to Conan? And then he's not going to, retaliate on you.
No.
Right?
No.
So okay, I got that. So that's where Jets fans go. My problem, okay, and this is where I struggle to identify this, even in the 4 major sports, is trying to think of the team's fandom that has the biggest persecution complex.
Browns fans. Duh.
Do you think it's the Browns?
Oh yeah. Well, they get the whole thing. We suck and we know it, and yada yada, and it's still gonna stick by the team. They abandoned us and came back. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about just like, I'm a fan of this team, okay, because it shows my rank dedication to something.
Of course,
Browns fans.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. Okay.
Oh, you mean the team that gets picked on by the other fan bases the most?
The one that blames outside influences, is most prone to conspiracies.
Oh, no, that's not the Browns then.
I feel this belongs to Raiders fans.
Raiders fans? That might be changing.
Well, I believe that they're turning a corner, but there was many years where it was like, the league hates us, the refs hate us.
I think when they were definitely in Oakland there, maybe the first couple years. But I mean, they punch up pretty bad. They punch back pretty hard. And so, like, I think if you're actually looking for a team that truly has that kind of like,
everybody
hates us and we're never going to get ahead, blah, blah, blah.
Right?
I can't even think.
It's rigged.
Yeah. Oh, it's rigged. I've known some Dolphin fans who.
Okay. I don't want to name names.
Yeah.
And some Dolphin fans that you and I have known have been known
definitely
to have very paranoid fantasies.
Yeah. The persecution conflicts dialed up to 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if I can hold the entire fan base, but I've definitely heard enough people, speak about, Dan Marino got robbed and blah, blah, blah. I mean, the Raiders always had this persecution complex, but they also kind of knew they deserved it. That was that whole Pete Manizak rule.
Well, that's a celebrated incident.
Right. No, I get it.
That's lore.
Right. But, I mean, he knew that even if it wasn't illegal. He knew it was bullshit football. So
some people might have called it dirty pool.
Fine. Okay.
Back in the day,
but it's still like, oh, well, if you don't call it, that doesn't mean that you're getting away with something. All right. It just means it's not illegal. All right. So, you still know it's horseshit. So,
of course.
Yeah. And, which is why he's got the rule named after him now. So,
comes up every single time there's somebody tries to fumble forward.
Fumble forward, yeah.
Yes. No, I agree. Yeah. I totally understand. So I used to think it was the Raiders. I don't think the Browns fans.
What about Washington Football Club fans? So,
well,
just based upon what's happened over the last couple of years. I actually played a trivia game with my students today. So we do this just to take a little break. And unfortunately, it wasn't up to date. And so the right answer for the question was, of course, the Redskins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but it wasn't the Redskins anymore. It's Washington Football Club. So, and of course, their entire logo had changed as well. And this is one of those match the team name to the logo things. So they were wrong on both accounts. It was kind of interesting. So, but it just also went to show how used to it I was already, because it's only been a year and a half.
Right.
So, yeah. So, but I would say that fan base definitely had a persecution complex there for a bit.
Well, the problem is I don't know enough Washington football fans to really make an accurate projection.
No, I don't either. So,
I mean, if you want to talk about the controversies of the name and all that other stuff, I got it. I understand, and that's
I don't care about that. Yeah.
But I didn't hear anybody really talking about it. But then again, this is Colorado, so
I didn't hear too many people talk about that out here. I know some of the high schools around here got got scorched on that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, but that's local school board stuff, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get 36 students with picket signs out front. Of course, you're going to change the name of the building, you know?
That sounds like
time. Yeah, it's just wasting your time. So, yeah.
Just pick something else Greek. Pick something else.
Pick something Greek or something that's completely innocuous. Call yourself
Romans.
The
Yeah. Caesars. Legionnaires.
Yeah, don't do that. Caesar was definitely a slave owner.
Yeah, okay. 5 years ago.
5 years ago, it would have been
Legionnaires.
Yeah, the Legionnaires.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's a disease, actually.
It is also a disease. Right? It is not exclusive.
Just go with Spartans. It's fine, man. So
you're not the fucking Lawson cataracts. It's not just. It's not just a disease. Yeah. It says.
Yeah.
Names, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far we are until we actually just start going into like straight up fantasy elements. Like, you're the Mitchell Orcs. Or
yeah, exactly. The Orcs. Yeah. So. We just didn't see that much controversy along that around here. I don't know. Broncos fans feel pretty persecuted from time to time too.
Because we live here.
Because we live here, and so you just hear all of them. Yeah.
Yes. But they are very quick to turn on management. Well, rather than look at external factors.
Deservedly so. So
yes.
Deservedly so. In the absolute shit show that is the Broncos, front office is crazy.
100%.
So yeah, and then, God, they're still having that ownership fight, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess there's some serious talks about
sue you.
Yeah, like there's a Manning and Elway team up thing that they're talking about.
That's horrible. Can't let John Elway get his hands on ownership of the team. Man.
Great.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so, man. So I think his brain's gone smooth.
That's fine.
Not if he's making decisions. So it's fine if he wants to sit up in the box and grin horseface like everybody else. But
that's the thing.
That's fine.
If he has,
he's going to meddle,
right? If he has that role and he actually relegates to just making money,
he won't do that. Of course, he's going to meddle with everything.
That's what Peyton Manning is for.
Yeah. God, okay. If Peyton Manning signed off on it, I'd be okay with it, but
of course,
I don't know, man. I've really soured on John Elway probably the last 10 years. So he was like a hero when I was growing up. So this is even before he won any Super Bowls. So
I agree. Well, look, as much as I want to give him a hard time, he's part of an organization that is so just cancer-ridden.
Oh yeah.
And I can't put the fault on his shoulders when that's the organization that you're tied to.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you look in there and you see
I just don't see him as a white knight to anybody's problem. So
no. Look, and some guys can go in there and clean house and say like, all right, these are the problems we have. I'm your hero. I'm going to clean this up. But, it's not like he went to that organization and you saw like, okay, well, here's 10 brilliantly interlocked cogs that are running smoothly, and my name is John Elway, and I am gum, right? So it's not like he came up there and he screwed the whole thing up. He came in there and it's like, well, that's gum, that's tar, that's, stickum.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Right?
I don't know, man. I just don't have that much faith in his management capabilities because I've seen him make some absolutely awful decisions.
Sure.
So, which I'm sure we can detail in great detail.
We'll get
more than I can.
We'll get a...
But at the same point in time, I'm also like, I don't know. I'm kind of over the guy. I'm actually a little bit tired of Peyton Manning too, to tell you the truth. Although you don't see him on like nationwide commercials near as much as he used to.
No.
He's still out there.
He moved on, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just the folksy yokel kind of thing. I'm just not buying it anymore. All right, when you own like fucking 500 Papa Johns and half of an insurance company, it's like, all right, fine.
The well shucks attitude will only get you so far.
Exactly, I'm not buying anymore.
When you lift up the curtain,
when you realize that Forrest Gump does run Bubba Gump, you know, it's kind of like, oh, okay, ha 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 ha. Oh wait, you met 3 presidents too, and got a Medal of Honor, and were a football star? Awesome. All right, fine. We can just fucking go retire off into the sunset, please. So, and I've felt that way about John Holloway for 10 years.
Fruit stock.
Take your fruit stock and off you go.
Yeah.
So I was telling my students about that today too. They were like, we were talking about the markets and investing and yada, yada, yada. And of course, they started talking about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all this stuff. And I mean, I've come to the conclusion that there's a certain amount of money, and I don't know if it's like a gradient. Okay. But eventually the spectrum does get to the point in time where it's completely black and white on one side, so to speak, and black being completely toxic. All right. And so I think there's a certain level of money somewhere north of about, I'm going to call it about $3 billion. Okay. That makes you into some kind of like zombie. Okay. Where you do shit that is weird and that nobody else understands. So
I have a hard time disagreeing with that. And you know what? The thing is, I would actually place that number at something far less.
I don't know, because like I was thinking about this on the drive today, all right, and I want you to make your case, all right. But let me throw this premise out there first, all right. So I think like up to the billionaire point, it probably is still a little bit about money, or at least maybe north of 300 million. Okay, south of 300 million is definitely still about money. All right, you want to be rich, you want that big yacht. You want, you want the legacy for your kids. You want the endowment at Yale, whatever. Okay, it's still about money. But after a little point in time, it's no longer about money. Now it's about influence and power. Okay, it's about glory, so to speak. All right, legacy, whatever. Well, actually, it's probably about like actually having control of the levers of things that actually do shit. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's every common man's, like, dream in some respects. What if I got to be president for a month? Right. Kind of, I'd fix all the things. And so when you get...
If I ran things around here.
Oh, yeah. So he's back. So, but if
I'll tell you exactly what kind of employees I wouldn't hire.
Right, yeah. Don't say it on the podcast.
I didn't. That's all inference.
That's all inference. That's,
you decide on which...
that's our Nixonism.
Which percentage of the demographic employees that you decide not to let in your business?
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's gonna stand up in court. So, but anyway. All right. Continuing on, Mr. Nixon. Where was I? So I think if you get like up into that billionaire range, once you get like maybe Mark Cuban like billionaire, so we're just enough to actually occupy the big chair on the fucking show with the entrepreneur. Fake entrepreneurs. Eventually you get to that point in time where it's like, oh shit, I could do something. With this. But then eventually you get to that like, not even like, I can't even think of a mid-tier billionaire. Okay, but like. Maybe if you're somewhere north of like 10. Okay. Now you're too big of a fish to swim in most ponds. So, I mean, think about it. If you're like Jeff Bezos, who's still on top even after his divorce. So I was kind of surprised by that. All right. But if you're that guy, all right, anything that you wade into, the money is going to be the issue. Okay. Immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're too big at that point in time. And so that's such a toxic level of money, all right, that you literally live in a universe that nobody else can occupy. And so when people look at you and they say, what are you going to do with all that money? You're like, I like ice cream.
Well, before you die,
I want to go to space.
Yeah, you go to space, or
I want a hot Mexican girlfriend.
It's given, but that's sort of the prerequisite to be a billionaire.
I want the biggest yacht.
Well, I mean, there's a historical precedent of it. It's like Patrick, go to New York and look at how much crap is named after Rockefeller and Vanderbilt.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's kind of the point. So
now, Patrick, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just think there's an additional factor that you're not weighing in.
Okay.
Is you have to take everything that you said there and then you have to divide it by time. So it's based off of the amount. So it's take your base level of what you have now.
All right. So put me at 10 billion just to like.
All right, I'm not going to put you
make
at 10
it easy peasy.
I'm going to put you at your base salary, which you do not have to announce.
It's $40,000 a year. I'm an educator.
All right, awesome.
Well, actually, I think I'm up to 42. So, yay, cola.
Okay. Congratulations. All right, so you're at $42,000 a year. Okay. Now, if you go from $42,000 to $84,000,
right?
How do your spending habits change?
Well, okay, I've done that in the past.
Okay.
All right, and so I can speak from experience on this one. So, because when I went and I made the great leap in my career to corporate,
I can talk about this too. Yes.
We can talk about this some other time in the future. I'm sure it'll come up, but
No. I can share experiences with you about going from education to an industry with actual money.
Well, see, I went from frontline to corporate and then to education, and so I've seen it both sides.
Oh,
of the
yeah, okay.
slope.
So
yeah. So, but my spending habits changed in the sense that I was very good at delaying paying for things at that point in time. I'd be like, okay, I need a new car. I need to get a hotel for this week. I need to furnish a new house, stuff like that. It was like, well, I've got money coming in. I know the money's coming in. And so I can charge all this. So that's the time in my life where I ran up the most credit card debt. Was when I got a huge payment like that, because I didn't think about it the way that I did before, which was before you and I went through poverty years.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was later, right? Yeah, that was later. Yeah, it was after I came back.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that was poverty time. But it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I had to fight off all my commitments like I did before.
Right.
And so when my wife and I first got married, we were very tight on budget and things like that. I went through a couple layoffs and all that shit. And so I got really good at thinking about okay, I need this much money in order to cover these major things every single month. And I was very good about not hitting those spending levels as soon as I tripled my salary in a single year.
Right.
It was like, all that shit's irrelevant, And so it was like, okay, I can always pay it off in the future. And I did, until eventually I got used to my level of salary, which takes about 6 months, before you get used to it. And then all of a sudden you haven't developed good spending habits to match your increase in salary at that point in time. You still spend like you used to, but you just spend it on nicer things.
Okay. Yeah. Now take that situation, and so what I had initially done was I doubled you, right? And what if in 6 months or a year I doubled you again?
I'd probably do the same thing. So, and I guess my point is that that's not scalable to the billionaire side, because eventually you get to the point in time where you do have more money than you could possibly spend.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying here is this is where that billionaire status doesn't necessarily lead to the same thing, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you your $42,000 back, okay? But the windfall you're going to get is $340 million via the lottery.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Of course you're going to take it. But what you're talking...
I'll take the cash, too. I don't want the annuity.
Exactly.
Give me the cash.
Okay. So what I'm talking about here is now we are not dividing by 6 months, a year. We're talking about a number that is unfathomable to you previously, right, in this instant.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to say to you is, given the way that the trajectory of most big lottery winners has gone...
Oh, it's terrible.
Of course. Yeah. But they're not in the 10 billion range.
No.
But they go just as cuckoo.
They can, but there's a difference between that. So a guy like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett or Mark Zuckerberg, these are all great examples of this. These are people who walked up the stairs to get to that point in time.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. No. It's not like what you're saying, where it's like all of a sudden, okay, you're going to go back to making shit, but you're going to win the lottery. It's like, I can see that I'm going to make this much money.
Yes.
Okay. And so I assume a different persona, and I actually start to think about how much money it takes in order to achieve the things that I want to achieve, realizing at a certain point in time, and I'm not going to say it's a cut point in time, it's probably a spectrum where eventually you get to the point in time where it's like, well, what the fuck am I going to spend my money on? All right. And so unlike someone who just wins the lottery, who's like, well, I could hook up all my friends, I could blah, 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 blah. These people have already fought off all those urges by the time they get to that level. All right. And so when they get to that level, it's about what can I achieve with this money, all right, that I do not have right now. And my argument is that it is some form of influence. All right.
Well, yes.
And someone who wins $300 million through the Powerball isn't going to try and become fucking president of the United States, unlike Mark Cuban.
No. What I'm saying there, okay, but what you're talking about there is you're talking about a very tiered list of objectives.
Sure.
Because you have this much money, I can make this much more, right? This affords me these things. What I'm saying there is those guys that you're talking about haven't hit full cuckoo area, because the things that we're not hearing about is Mark Zuckerberg arrested for hunting and killing men for sport.
But he's young. Yeah. I'm very concerned about that.
Look, if it happens, it happens. But those guys that you're talking about have not done that. However, what I will point you at is any number of like athletes who went from nothing to millionaires overnight. Arrested for hunting and killing people for sport.
Right?
So that's what I'm saying. Is it's the percentage of change over time without tierable systems. Because eventually.
Okay. No, I'll buy your argument on this one.
Well, that's just the end of the tier system. Once you hit that money level, where who is it? What is it? Who's the quote about? Basically, is it Alexander who wept because he had no more worlds to conquer? Right?
Yeah.
So eventually, once you get to that point where it's like, all right, I can buy anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
So what is this? What can I do now? Well, I'm going to go into space.
Yeah.
Who's been to space?
Yeah, nobody's been to space.
Well, the stupid government's been to space, but or
you Peter Thiel it out and jet to New Zealand and
Sure.
Try and keep all your money in an IRA, which is fucking hilarious. So, but anyway, like
you like start having strong feelings about castles.
Castles are I want my own private, like chain of islands, as opposed towards like just getting a little shit island in the Bahamas.
Exactly, Patrick. I'm more surprised I don't hear as much about like Jeff Bezos' collection of World War II memorabilia.
Right. No. Right. And okay, so but that still goes back to my point. Eventually, you do get to that point in time where maybe like you kind of price yourself out of a lot of the things that you could do.
Yeah.
So like think about like Donald Trump. Donald Trump runs for president. He's worth maybe north of south of $5 billion. Okay. He's kind of in that danger zone.
Yes.
All right. Where I think a lot of people who are like, when they get rich enough, they do like start to approach it. And I do think it's kind of a set bandwidth within there, all right, where things are doable, but you haven't necessarily achieved what you want. Yeah. And I'm saying once you get outside on the north side of that bandwidth, your brain starts to go a little bit loopy, all right? And you start thinking about, well, I want to go to fucking space. I want to be the next, I don't even know what, like, Elon Musk is trying. I'm trying to, like, think of a historical, like, correlation or, like, at least a, it's like, is he trying to be like the next Vasco da Gama or something like that, or the next Cortez? Is he out there to the conquistadors, or something? I mean, I have no idea. Is he the next Magellan? And he's just doing the exploration thing. Is he the next Thomas Edison, who just like feels compelled to like invent shit? I have no idea. Is the next Henry Ford? Is he going to turn into a freaking anti-Semitic tyrant? So who knows, man. So, but like all of these people, when they achieve something like that, with maybe the exception of Rockefeller, who was actually pretty stable, okay, and Carnegie was the same way. He got a little weird. Yes, but J.P. Morgan got weird. So as he got older.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Didn't he die on the Titanic? I think he did. There was somebody in his family, or no, he was supposed to be on it.
Supposed to be on it, but he didn't go.
Yeah. So. But that's right. That's right. It was the other guy. It was John Jacob Astor was on the guy. Yeah. Right. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, so, but okay. So I buy your argument where you're talking about. All right, there's a dangerous bandwidth of.
Now it's for full disclosure. I'm not arguing you should take it away from them. No, okay. Yeah. Of course. I think that they're like considerably. Like when you get that much and you have like $200 billion like Jeff Bezos, you literally make yourself somewhat irrelevant by the amount of money that you have. Because like, think about it in some respects. He can do a few things. Okay. He might be able to build a whole new space company. Same thing with,
Sure.
Yeah. But really, I mean, $200 billion, we're talking about his total net worth. Okay. Over the lifetime of Amazon, in his lifetime, he's got to be in his 50s by now. Okay.
Oh,
I think he's in his 50s. Yeah, I think Elon Musk is in his late 40s or something like that. But if you think about that and think about that trajectory, all right, so that's like, what, maybe 2 years of NASA's budget?
Oh, right. No, I got you. No. Yeah, you're talking about impossible numbers.
Right. Yeah.
No, okay. So the issue with this here is once you hit a certain level like that, right? It's not that that your brain goes smooth, right? But your values have changed to the point where you no longer have any grasp on what regular people would even consider normal. You're so far removed from that you can't use that as your gauge.
Yeah, and so I would call Warren Buffett an outlier on that one. Now his partner, not so much. So
yeah, he's different. He's like
that guy's kind of grouchy. Yeah.
and if I recall, that dude eats more than like one can of beans.
Right. Yeah. So, but no, I'll buy your argument on that one. So
fucking
I think
Warren
that makes
sense. Like you find Warren Buffett, it's like, why are you looking at that?
Yeah.
It's
but
like,
I mean, this is the same thing. This is with why Bill Gates was going to Rapey Island, and stuff,
allegedly.
Right. Yeah, allegedly. So show me the manifests. There's a Bill Clinton.
What you're talking about is, yes, have you gotten to the point where, yes, you have done so much and spent so much that just regular sex won't do?
Right, yeah, you have to have some kind of exotic sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go to this island.
Right, you go to Singapore or something. Well, not Singapore, Thailand.
Yeah, you go to Thailand. You go to Thailand. You say like, okay, that's all normal shit, right?
Yeah.
I want the weird stuff.
They're
like, okay, well, weird is all right. Weird. I'm going to check mark underage.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, great.
Right. Yeah. Here, I'm going to hold up a card. You just point.
Yeah. It's like, all right. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check these boxes for you. So underage. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Macaw.
So,
yeah. We're going to get one of those in here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Peanut butter. Got it.
Peanut butter.
Got it. Okay. Tires. Okay. Interesting. Great. All right. Cool. What else?
Way past the mirrored ceiling and the disco ball at this point in time.
Right. Well, to the point where this doesn't feel good, but it's just like, yeah, that was different.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think so. I don't know, man. I've always told people, like even my students, when we talk about investing, and yes, so full disclosure, I do invest in Tesla, but I've always been careful about that because I'm terrified that guy's going to show up someday dead in a face down in a plate full of cocaine.
Possible.
Or Adderall, whatever. If you could chop that up and actually snort it, I'd be really concerned. So.
I'm trying to think about what the designer death would be at this point.
Designer death.
Yeah, because I don't think
that's good. That's a good note to end on tonight.
Yeah, how much coffee do you have left?
I'm cashed.
You're cashed? I'm cashed too. Actually, theoretically, that means we end the podcast right here. Is when the coffee's out, the podcast is over.
I got one splash left.
You got one splash left? All right.
So designer death for right now. God, I don't know, man. So
because you remember, like in the '90s,
it was shotgun to the head. Yeah.
Well, okay, but there were a lot of overdose related.
Oh God,
like
who was it?
Like the Chris Farley's
David Carradine.
The autoerotic.
Yeah, autoerotic. Oh well, yeah, and the same thing with Robin Williams, who basically strangled himself in a psychotic fit. Yeah,
yeah.
Designer
same thing happened to that dude from In Excess, who. Yeah.
So a billionaire designer death. It's got to involve some Evel Knievel bullshit. So, I mean, literally with both of these guys going into space, it's got to be burn up on re-entry.
Or you just I'm gonna put that out there. Make it
I'm going to put that out there.
Orbit.
You just didn't quite make it in orbit. Yeah, no, I'm going to go with the burn up on re-entry. Yeah, you can go with the Challenger one if you so choose.
I don't want to go with the Challenger one. I tend to think of a designer's death has to be... It has to be something that has way more like deliberate intent in it.
Shit, we already have that, dude. So, John McAfee. So, he just set the template.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, lose all your money, blow it on cocaine, hookers, and lawsuits, and then kill yourself in a Spanish jail.
Right, Bang. right.
Done. Yeah.
After you have a whole bunch of people that can testify to, well, McAfee actually has a special chair with a hole cut in it.
Right.
I would shit on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
so up that, Musk.
So until Musk outdoes it, the designer death is calling you McAfee.
Is you McAfee?
You McAfee.
Yeah, you McAfee it out. Yeah.
So if Musk outdoes that, cool.
I heard that he was actually broke when he died. So
McAfee?
Yeah.
So I
heard that he built like 2 houses up in Aspen, and as soon as he built one, he tore it down because he didn't like it. He did that Caesar thing. So, yeah. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. So if you're gonna up, if Musk is gonna up it, you have to out McAfee the McAfee. So
I'm willing to wait.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
So
Coffee's done. Bedtime, dude.
Coffee's out, bedtime.
All right.
And if you would go ahead and
I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
And it's time for bed.
Thank you so much.
See ya.